Okay, once again, hello and welcome to the YouTube channel. If you're new to my YouTube channel, my name is Meydan. I'm a fintech professional. I'm a finance professional, and I'm the also founder of a fintech which measures and calculates the future swing days and the swing hours of financial markets with a pricing model. So as usual, we're going to get used to an article. We're going to get started with an article, and once we do the article, we're going to take a look at it on how it impacts us with time and price trading. Now, today's article is why we do not need the news when trading with time and price. Once again, just a slight reminder, I'm only looking at things from a time and price perspective and not in any other kind of, I don't know, strategy or any kind of style of trading. Because here at the Global Trader Club, we're using time and price with pre-calculated swing days, swing hours, and pricing, and that is the whole idea. And when you're trading in this format, you really don't need to care about the news. All right, so let's take a look on why that is. Let's first get rid of my big head. Now, if at any time when I started working on these swing days and hours, if at any time I thought that news was going to alter my calculations, I would not have carried on with this, because it would be just pointless, because any news can come out and your prediction could be just, throw it down the window. But because pre-calculated swing days and swing hours work despite the news, no matter what happens on the planet, we will still have a highly likely probability that that swing day in that price zone will work at that trading hour or the sequence of trading hours I have for the day. So understanding that these work independent of the news is why I always say, when trading, I don't care about the news. The news is irrelevant. Trump, Putin, Xi, or whatever, nobody is going to change the world. Humanity has been trying to change it for thousands of years, but human nature will not change. And because it doesn't change, it makes it predictable. And because it's predictable, it's calculatable. Is that such a word? Calculable, let's say. All right, so we can calculate it. Now, if you're using the news to trade, you are reacting to the market, which is not a good idea. What we want to do is, like I always say, see things before they happen, right? And that's the whole idea with predictive swing day, swing hour calculations. You want to know when things are going to happen, and then you've got a price for it, and that's what we should be looking out for. So time and price are predictive, news is reactive, and anybody who's trading with the news, they're going to be just punting it, okay? And we don't like to punt, we like to calculate, and according to the calculations, that's how we like to trade, so we can manage the risk, okay? And that's the whole idea. Now, there's always this myth that the market is random, you can never know what's going to happen, blah blah blah. Okay, so we've been through all of that with years of calculating the market swing days and the swing hours of the day with pricing. I can honestly, confidently, and guaranteeingly say they work. Obviously they don't work 100% of the time, but they work up to 75, 82% of the time, which I've calculated for some stuff. Okay, and they work. So knowing those days, when you match it to an hour, you've got a really good chance of understanding that today is a good day to trade and we're going to see a turn in the market. Okay, if it matches your technical pricing, then great. If it matches an hour during the day as well, then that's even greater, because you've got now minimum risk with maximum potential. I've also done a video on how to scale your trading account using time and price. Might be a good idea to watch that too. It's going to be in the same playlist as this video, right? So the market is not random, okay? People are not random. They have a character, a personality, okay? If you're an asshole, you're always going to be an asshole. That's just the way it is, Okay, unfortunately. And people don't change despite the fact that they may seem like they change. They don't, because our characters are embedded in us. We choose to use or not use them depending on circumstances, but that doesn't mean we've changed. All right. So the same thing goes for the markets. So the markets are not random. People have emotions. They're either scared or they're having a ball. So they get all excited or they get all depressed. There are only two types of feelings that we have. We either feel good or we feel bad. And we've come up with 1,001 words to describe those states. Ecstatic, joyful, overwhelmed, happy, or depressed, anxious, all that kind of stuff. So we want to make the literature rich, but at the end of the day, we only have two emotions. You're either going to feel good or you're going to feel bad. All right? And this is exactly how the market works. So if we only have two emotions, well, that's great, because we just have two variables. Okay? And that's all we need to calculate. So the markets are not random at all. That's just bogus. We can calculate swing days, swing hours, and a good degree of accurate pricing. We're not trading with the news. Okay, so we've got no noise. Everybody's talking on CNN, Bloomberg, all kinds of, TV channels, internet channels, YouTube, about what the news is all about, what Trump's gonna do. Oh my God, who gives a rat's ass? If you know the swing days, swing hours, you don't need to. Trump cannot change the world. If Trump was relevant at all, really, do you think I could calculate swing days in advance? Really? Do you think that I would know when the SP 500 was going to fall, get up with a pricing precision? When the market comes down here, it's going to be a swing day. Could I have calculated that from 2024 when Trump wasn't even in the office? The guy is irrelevant. Putin is irrelevant. Everybody's irrelevant. We are born, we live, and we will die, which makes us all irrelevant. Which means that the world has its own routine, which is independent of what we might feel or think. Now, this may all sound a bit mystical, but it's not really mystical. You understand there's gravity. So if I drop this rubber, I know it's gonna fall because there's a law called gravity. And that law isn't gonna change. Okay, so the world isn't going to change. Accordingly, nobody on the news can actually change the predictions that we're doing, because they're based on cycles. And cycles will be around regardless of Putin, Trump, Xi or Chi or whatever his name is, or whatever. Understand? So it doesn't really matter. You will not be in the news. Furthermore, if with all the news coming out, look, this is last week, Friday, Thursday, if the news was even relevant, do you think that my trading hours would work if it was all random? If I know I've got a trading hour, if I know I've got a price, would this stick? It certainly wouldn't. And I wouldn't be wasting my time doing it. I wouldn't even waste my time trading. Because if we are going to be in the hands of some guy like Putin or some gingerbread man in Washington, if we are like in the hands of politicians, we might as well just give up living right now. Just think about it for a moment. If there's news coming out and my trading hours are spot on, more often than not, which is exactly when you mix it with pricing, you're getting a high degree of accuracy, like in the 70s and 80%. Then why would you muck around listening to the news? You just wouldn't. This is Monday, all right? This is Tuesday. This is Wednesday, all right? Let's take a look at what happened. Do we have news this week? Let's take a look at the week. Look, this is Monday. I had news came out at 4:45, 5 and 5. This is my time, UTC +3, right? That's Monday. There you go. These were the trading hours. News came out afterwards on Monday. All right, see, this is Monday. News comes out at 4:45 and 5 o'clock. And on Monday, I had a trade hour there. Where's that coming in? Look at this. I've got all the swing hours here listed in the members area. Monday, look, 3:30, 3:20 to 3:30. That's like 10 minutes apart, by the way. All right, so it's that zone there. And the market starts to take a turn. Goes all the way to the next trading hour. Market then goes slightly higher, takes a dive into the next trading hour and closes there. On Tuesday, market comes down, that's your trading hour, and takes off after another half an hour in that direction. This is in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing to trade here because you want to match it to price. Remember, we're not just trading on hours. We're not just trading because it's a swing day. We're trading at a price pre-calculated with our PST indicator on a swing day at a swing hour. All right, so we've got all of those. And same here. All right, this is Wednesday. And in today's video, actually, I did say I'd like to see the indices go down. Looks like we're just in pre-trading session in New York. It's 3 my PM. It's like 8, I think, in New York. So it's pre-trade session. So the market's moving a little bit. We'll see how things pan out. I didn't put all the hours here, but you can see the hours here for Wednesday. I've got Thursday, Friday below, as you can see. So there's nothing really to talk about because you've got all the swing days and everything in advance. All right. And this is why we don't care about the news. If you are precise in your timing, in your pricing, in your hours, imagine somebody giving you the hours that the market is going to highly likely turn. And if it matches your price, you take that trade. If it doesn't, you just let it go. I mean, who does that? That's precision. And if you've got a swing day with a time and a price, who cares about the news? Because no matter who talks, nothing is going to change. And this is proven over and over and over again. If I take a look at last week as well, we'll see the same thing. And if that was the case, if I was, like I said, dependent on the news, I'd never calculate this stuff in the first place. Why would I want to be wasting my time if things can change with the news? I don't want to do that. Things will not change with the news. So this is why we don't care about the news. And if you want to trade with time and price, you can just trade nice and easy. This is gold today. In fact, I put a gold trade on the other day on Monday as well here. As the trade hours were coming, I said it's going to be disruptive, and I entered the trade here. This was the trading hours. You see the market's just going sideways, didn't change at all, and from here it just turned around, going up into there, and that was Monday. There you go, is your Monday. Watch the videos for these days and you'll see. This is the 5th of May, the 6th of May, the 7th of May. I add them onto YouTube, obviously after they've been published in the members area, okay, because it's going into the members area first before it goes on to YouTube. But you'll see that these hours are rocking. And if you know the time, if you know the price, if you know the day, if you've got those levels, then see, your trading is going to be so precise. Your losses are going to be very, very minimal, because if I got an hour and I'm wrong, then you're going to be getting out with minimal stop. Just like with this gold example here. In fact, when I was doing this video, I said to myself, I don't have a stop loss here, but afterwards, actually in the video, I did put a stop loss. The reason I didn't have a stop loss in the beginning of the trade was because I knew this hour was coming up. You see, if you can know that the next trade hour ahead of you is going to be here, then you're not sitting there biting your nails. You're thinking, okay, I've got a few hours to go, so, you know, if it's going to go in my direction and I am expecting a disruption, I recommend you watch the video and listen to what I said there, then this will probably go into that zone. In fact, it did, and it hit my target at 3,300. And that was it. It's just, you know, in a matter of like boom, 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 after I entered here. Okay, so you just have to understand, news is irrelevant. What these guys are tweeting are irrelevant. Michael Burry did a nice tweet. He said he had Trump in his X account with the executive order open. Your technical analysis is not as good as my tweets or whatever. But that's just crap, because we don't care what Trump tweets. We calculate the swing days, swing hours in advance, and we get them highly likely correct and right. And with proper money management, you'll be scaling your account, and your probability of winning trades will be above 65% at least, because I've done it live for 5 to 6 weeks. I think in the beginning of the year, when I took a small account with a 67% success rate, and I kind of like multiplied the account 7 or 8 times. It was from $100 to $800. Why? Because you can scale in, you got time, price, and the news is irrelevant. Stop mucking around with news determining how the market goes. That's just absolute bullshit. All right, so I hope this video helps. If you see my videos, if you're watching the swing days, the swing hours, matching it to a technical price level, then you should be cooking with gas. Okay, really environmentally healthy and stress free. All right, have a good day.